the good parts. So good evening. My name is Akeisha Gaynor, and I'm the Social Service Director for the Foundation for Delaware County. On behalf of myself, Dr. Weed, and the Fatherhood Summit Committee, we would like to welcome you to our second annual Fatherhood Summit, playing your part in the fatherhood game. And so we're excited to be here tonight to hear from different resources within the community, but also to hear from fathers within the community around their experience in regards to fatherhood and how they've been able to overcome some barriers, but also give back to the community in the midst of overcoming their own barriers. So again, I would like to welcome you guys to our summit tonight, and I'm just gonna go ahead and hand it over to Dr. Muweed so he can go ahead and get us started. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akeisha. So those of you who may be coming to this particular summit the first time is being sponsored by the Delaware County, the Foundation for Delaware County, and we have a number of programs, and really at the center of our work is how do we support mothers in terms of having a safe pregnancy, a safe delivery, and also being safe within that next year. Statistics federally has shown that there's so many Black women dying in that first year after birth that the discussion is having a thing about a fourth trimester. I mean, that's just how serious these statistics are. And we know through research, it's also been found that when the fathers are involved in all aspects of the pregnancy journey, it in fact enhances the probability of a healthy baby in terms of birth weight, and also in terms of the term, right? So those are the two factors which are very critical in terms of being able to deliver a healthy baby. But we have to do more. And the Fatherhood Summit is put together as a place where we can come back and see what's working. We want to know what's working, and we want to get that information out to the community, and we want to show people examples of what a good father involvement looks like. And we're not saying fathers should support their mothers, because it really gives us a false notion. What we're saying is that fathers need to accept full responsibility. I'm gonna share with you a quote from one of my heroes. His name is Malcolm X El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, and he says, fatherhood by any means necessary. On the back of the shirt, it says, father only means that you are taking care of your children. That's what it is. That's what it means to be a father. It doesn't mean having babies. Anybody can make a baby, but a father helps to raise his children. There is another word for fatherhood. It's called responsibility. So we feel it's important for, when we talk about fathers, that they're standing on that place of responsibility, not so much support, because support gives the idea that it's on the periphery. It's like on the sideline, I'm going to come in and support you. No, we want fathers to stand on their space of responsibility. And that to do that, it means to include fathers in our conversations, to include father in the various activities. And we see that it's pretty consistent in terms of what's happening on the federal level and what's happening on local level. What I'm referring to is that it was only in this funding cycle that Healthy Start actually funded fatherhood coordinators like myself. And I think they've been, Healthy Start is about 30 years, right? So we're seeing this inclusion. But also when you look at it in terms of the school board, if you go to any school board meeting, mostly the mothers are there, like where are the fathers? So here at the foundation, we're doing everything we can to bring a greater level of awareness to this, not a problem, but to something that needs to get corrected. And we've done it in such a way that is really exciting. Some of you may be seeing on the screen, Doulas for Dads. Well, that is a program that was funded by the foundation to actually train men, yes, train men as doulas, but of course we changed the A to an O so that it can be masculine. And we have Joe Austin here, who is in fact and his organization, Daddy's University, is managing that project. And we have also here Karen Peterson, who is our trainer for doulas. So we're looking at fatherhood involvement on every single level, certainly in the procreation process, that's a given, but throughout pregnancy, throughout delivery, also through postpartum. But in addition to that, the supportive mechanisms, right, in terms of having a doulos for the dads in the same way that a doula is for the women. And this is fairly new. I didn't even know there was such a thing prior to being hired here with the foundation. So we are very excited about all the things that we are doing to really practice what we preach and making a forum, these different forums available for the fatherhood discussion. So with us this evening, I want to introduce Jean-Pierre Bryce, and many of you know him as JP or also Uncle P. And I don't have your bio in front of me, so I'm not going to give you a large introduction. And that means you have more space to talk about who you are and what you do. But we've known each other for I don't know, maybe it's like what, 6 months? It's fairly recent, right? But I've grown to love and respect this gentleman because of the hard work that he engages in terms of making this community a better place. He's been through some ups and downs, folks. He's been in the valley, he's been on the mountaintop. This man has been, in many places, and because of those places, we felt it was really a good choice to invite him to be the keynote speaker for today. And this particular Fatherhood Summit is our way of saying, let's give platform to those fathers in Delaware County who are doing the work. We had wanted to do that. Basically, we had some snafus in terms of some people being ill and having to bring other people, but still the main theme is to localize fatherhood and give a platform to those individuals that are really showing us how to do it, how to do this thing called fatherhood. So without any further ado, I'm going to ask Jean-Pierre to come on and share with us what his experience has been as a father and what he wants us to walk away with. Jean-Pierre, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Moody. I'm extremely proud that you even asked me to do it, right? When you first asked me to be the keynote speaker, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But, through my experience, I've learned that my experience isn't a bad experience, right? There are some things that I wish, I didn't do, but I have children because of them, and I love my kids. So first, I would like to thank, the Foundation of Delaware County, right, for giving Dr. Moody this platform for men to talk, right, and for men to talk about what it's like to be a father and even playing your role, right. I think, I like to thank Katie Kenyon, right, and I would also like to thank Akeisha Gaynor, right, for everything that they do for the women. Right, I got Portia Pender. She's in the group, right? She just became a doula, right? So she's working in the community, and that's what we need in the village. We are working to improve relationships, right? That should be our whole goal, is to improve the relationship between mom and dad so that the children can be happy, right? So, I'm 30. No, I'm not 37 anymore, right? When I started cmpradio.net, when I started this, I was 37 years old. My father died when he was 37. That was as much of a life as I thought I had, right? And I really didn't put a lot of value in giving anything, right? I gave my kids money. I bought them things. I took them places. But I really didn't understand what it was like to be a father until my 37th birthday, when I looked at my son and he was acting as I was acting, right? He didn't care. He didn't, he was just walking around the house and looking. I'm like, no, that's not right, right? I have to change what I'm doing. And so I went to therapy, right? I talked to my therapist, and my therapist told me I was 16 years old. He said my mental was 16 years old. 16. He's like, no, you stopped growing, right? When you figured out a way to make money and to do that, that's what you've been doing for the past 21 years. You have to change. So he asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? That question, just that question alone, right? And I had to go home because I didn't know, right? I really didn't know. All I knew since 16 was get money, right? Go get money, pay this, get money, take care of this, take my kids here. And when I left, you know, I felt empty because I didn't know what I wanted to be. So I called my aunt, right? I called my aunt and I talked to her. We had a conversation and she said, you know what? You always wanted to be a broadcast journalist. You always walked around with something that recorded like a microphone and you handed it to your sister dolls and a microphone and you handed it to your grandmother. She was like, and I just thought you would go into that field. So when I went to college, I did, right? But college wasn't paying me any money, right? And it was like, I'm gonna go get this money. I don't have time for that. I dropped out of college. And I came home. And I didn't even do a full semester. I did do a full semester. I came home and for Christmas break, and I didn't go back, right? I didn't go back, and I got locked up, gun charge, first offense, right? I'm up 55th and Pine on a gun charge, and my life changed at that moment. I stopped caring about anyone and myself, and it was like, I'm gonna get out here, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna move the way I want to move. Now we go 10 years down the line of getting locked up and cell charges and DUIs and drug. My last arrest, I got arrested. I had 30 dimes of cocaine on me, right? And at that time I was working and I was really using the cocaine. I was putting it on my weed, right? Just smoking. And I realized when I got locked up, I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't live this way anymore, right? My kids need me. My son, he wasn't conceived yet, right? I didn't conceive him till I came home on bail. And then he was born before I turned myself in to go upstate. I had 2 daughters, right? They were good, but my relationships out here in the world, they just weren't right. They didn't fit me right. So when I went to jail, I sat on that, right? I said, I can't go home doing the same things, right? I can't. I just can't do it. I sat up there and I read a lot of books, 48 Laws of Power, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read a lot of books, and it opened my eyes a little bit, not enough, right? So when I came home, I realized that my son I spent 18 months in jail. My son had spent 18 months without his father, right? So I didn't want that to ever happen again. So I gave up. I gave up selling drugs. I gave up running the streets. I went and got 3 jobs. I had 3 jobs. I was delivering pizzas for Naz's. I was working over Jersey, and I was doing security, right? I hustled. I hustled so hard, right? And I'm still hustling hard, right? And I understood what I had to give my kids, but it just didn't, it wasn't enough, right? It's every time I tried, it was something missing. And so I got a job. I was working in Jersey, and they had the oil spill down south. And my manager, my boss asked me, he was like, yo, you wanna go down there? I was like, my PO is not gonna allow me to go down there. He was like, well, call him and see. I called my PO. He was like, go. I don't have any trouble out of you, JP. Like, I don't even know why you on parole, right? That's what he said to me. And he let me go. And I went down there and I made good money. I made great money. And I came home and I was able to do things. I was able to travel. I was able to collect unemployment. I was able to take my kids places, but it wasn't enough, right? I saw my daughters, you know, they were growing up and they were into things. And I'm like, I need to involve myself. Now, my father was a Haitian immigrant, right? He came here at 18 years old, right? And he drove a taxi cab. That's where I get my driving skills from, my reckless driving skills from. But nonetheless, he was a Haitian immigrant. He came here. He knew how to speak 5 different languages. And when he came here, you know, he put himself in the front of whatever family he was on. Him and my mom got together. They were together. They got married. They had me at 25 years old. And then they moved to Chester. And my father began to live his life, right? He went to college. He became a college graduate. He became a regional sales rep at Philip Morris, right? And then all of a sudden he was gone. I was 12. I didn't know anything, right? I knew what he told me, but I didn't realize how important those words would be. And I saw a quote about 3 months ago, and it said, Dad, your guiding hand on my shoulder will remain with me forever, right? And now when I think about what he said to me, how he pushed me to be great, how he wanted me to exceed, how he gave me books to read, and I didn't want to read them, but I read them, you know, and I was a straight A student, K through 8th grade, right? But when he left, it was a void in my life. There was no man there, right? And that's the problem that we have now in our community. There are no men there, right? The women are moving, and it's amazing the way the women move, but the men, we have to unify, we have to come together to move for our children. So while I'm looking at my kids, I'm just trying to figure out, what's missing. So I talked to my daughter, and I had a conversation with her, and she was probably like, I think she was like 9 years old, right? And I'm like, what do you like to do? She was like, what do you mean? I said, what do you want to do when you grow up? And she was like, nothing, I just want to hang out with you. I was like, but you can't hang out with me all the time. Like, you have to figure out what you're doing. And this is my daughter. And I said, so what do you think you want to do? Like, if you had to grow up right now, this moment, what would you be? So she was baking cakes at the time, right? She was like, I want to go to culinary art school. I want to learn how to bake pastries. I said, all right, cool. Let's get into that. I called my grandfather, right, who is alive and who has tried his best, right, to reach out to me and to be in my life. But because I feel as though the closer I get to someone, they're gone, right? When I feel as though I need them, or I'm gaining something from them, God snatches them away. So I stay away from my grandfather. I call him on the phone, I love you, but I don't try to get too involved with him. And I let my kids get involved with him, but it just feels like, for me, that's I don't know why I feel that way. But that's a different topic. My daughter got with my grandfather and literally learned how to make cupcakes and cakes, and she enjoyed it and she loved it. And then just as quick as she started to love it, it was turned off. She wanted to do hair, right? And I said, okay, those are kids trying to learn who they are, right? So I had no problem with that. But what I saw was, from me talking to her, from me having a conversation and putting that energy in her head, she became just like me. She became a person that had to get it, constantly chasing after the next big thing, the next big job, the next big situation. And I loved it. And she loves it now, right? She's going to Westchester University, right? Well, she's going to be a teacher. And that's what she wants to do. She said, I figured it out, Dad. I figured it out in these last 3 years of me going to high school. I want to help children, right? Like I was helped. Like you helped me, like you talked to me. I want to help children like you helped me. And then I think about my dad, right? My dad gave me everything that I have today, all the skills that I have today. He gave them to me at 12, at 11 and 10. And I didn't realize I had them. But at 13 and 14 and 15 and 16, I was looking for a man to stand in my way and tell me everything that I could be. And there weren't those men out here. They were living their life, right? I wasn't their child, right? They were doing what they wanted to do. Again, I wasn't their child, or I was out on the street hanging out with people that were 4 or 5 years older than me, seeing them as my old heads and thinking that they were going to guide me in the right direction, and they really weren't, right? So once I went to jail and I came home, I said, all right, I have to get this together. I have to come together for my son. I left him for 18 months. I can't leave him again. I won't leave him again. I don't care what the situation is. I'll make sure I'm here. Whatever it is, I'll make sure I'm here. And that's what I've done, right? My son is now a sophomore at Archbishop Carroll, thanks to his mother, right? My daughter is a sophomore at Lincoln University, again, thanks to her mother, right? Because we're a team. What she can't do, I can do, and what I can't do, she can do. You know what I mean? And we work that way, right? We understand that, right? We're not married anymore. We're divorced, but we're not enemies. There is no enemies when we have children, right? There shouldn't be, right? And so in my life, what I've understood is that a father is important, right? What he says is not always law, but what he says should kind of be seen as law, and it should be allowed to be given to a child. From a woman's dad says no, that's what daddy said, right? Dad said yes, that's what daddy said. Dad said do this, that's what daddy said. But what we have now is, because of the men's absence, right? Because we ran the street, because we were out there in the community, because we weren't really in the house being fathers, what we say is like the lady off Peanuts. We're not saying anything that the women find helpful. We're not doing anything that the women find helpful. So once a woman understands that she can do this by herself, that's it. Right? There's really nothing you can do except for stay there and remain there and be constant and consistent in your kid's life. I think I've been constant in my children's life. I've been consistent enough, right, in my children's life, but I know I can do more. I can give more, and I will continue to give more. So when I'm out here in the street, because I also work for the DA, right, a community resource manager, right, and I'm talking to young men in the community, and they have kids, and I'm like, what you need for your kid, right? I see every child in this community as my child. It's not, I didn't father it, but it's my child, because I don't want that child to go through any pain that I felt. The pain and discomfort of not having someone there to talk to, the pain and discomfort of following behind someone that you thought was going to lead you down the right road, and they run you right into a wall. You feel me? And it damages you. It really hurts you. So I'm here to help children become better people. I'm at Chester Community Charter School today. I'm teaching them how to podcast. First thing I said when I walked in there, what do you want to do? Right? Who do you want to be? Give me 3 things you like, 3 things you don't like, right? Give me that one thing you wish you could change, and give me that one thing you wish stayed the same, right? And then tell me your favorite drink, your favorite soda. So I'm gonna get all their favorite sodas together, and I'm gonna take them all in and give them their favorite sodas. But the one thing I learned today is that the violence in our community affects our children so greatly. It affects them so, because they were talking about, I just want the violence to stop. I just want to stop getting shot. And everyone in this that I talk to in that podcast in class has lost someone or has been affected by gun violence, right? So it's like, yo, I got to get out here. I got to talk to these kids, because there are children hurting children over children stuff, right? Things that can be talked about, things that can be communicated. You could tell someone, man, you hurt my feelings. You stepped on my shoe, right? You talk to my girlfriend. I don't like that, but no, they're firing guns because they have them. And if we're not making the guns, you feel me? And we're not putting the guns out there, what are we putting out there? We're putting out children that don't understand mad. And there are so many things between mad and sad, right? All they know is anger. 100, we gone, we at it, we on site. And it's like, well, did you talk to him? Did you call him on the phone? Did you try to get somebody to talk to him? Did you call an uncle? Did you call a brother? Did you call someone else? No, you call your boys who out here and they just want to see you do whatever you do, or put free my guy on Facebook, or get a shirt, free Lex when he get out. Like, but you just committed murder. And 9 times out of 10, you'll never come home. 9 times out of 10, you'll never come home. So let's try to change the way we give our children information. Let's try to give our children love. Let's try to give our children care. And I say this to my son all the time. I carefully love you in a way that you can accept, right? Because a father and his son's relationship, I'm not supposed to tell my son I love him all the time. I told my son I love him one day in front of his friends. Man, his friends laughed at him for days. Truck, your dad love you. And he had to say to him, but my dad loves me. Like, you're mad because does your dad tell you he loves you? So I have to carefully love my son in the way that he can accept, and in the way that nurtures him to want more out of life, right? I don't want him to want less. I don't want him to not want to do anything. I want him to understand that he can have whatever. I want his head to blow off his head if it possibly can. You feel me? I want him to know that he can have whatever he wants when he wants that. And that's a part of me being a good father. That's a part of me talking to him and communicating to him. And earlier when you had asked Dr. Mueed about technology and children, my son is far more advanced with computers than I am, right? He can go on here, type in some things and pick everything up. And I'm like, how'd you find that out? He's like, I just typed in the name. And I'm like, wow, I couldn't do that when I was your age, right? I couldn't. I was in computer class. I didn't even really want to be there. I was playing around in high school. I played around for 4 years in high school. I didn't learn anything. But he's at a point where he wants to learn. He's at a point where he's grabbing as much information as he possibly can. And I have to decipher that information and tell him, that's not good information, bro. Don't put too much energy into that. Stop. Think about what you're doing. Look at what you're doing, and analyze it, and try to break it down to a point where it makes sense to you, right? So I'm extremely excited about the way the city is changing, the way we are adopting. If you have been through anything in life, I need you to step up and tell somebody. Talk about your problems, talk about your issues, because if you want to stop somebody from stealing from you, you talk about the fact that somebody stole from you. If you don't talk about it, it's going to keep on happening. I talk about the fact that I was addicted to drugs, right? It bad, like it was terrible. It tore me apart. I was skinny. But when I came home, I left it alone. I just said, no, I don't want it, right? People still say, man, you don't smoke weed. No, I don't. I don't smoke anything. I don't do drugs. I was drinking a couple months ago and then I had a stroke and I had to stop doing that, right? I have to understand that I'm valuable. I have to give value to my life so I can give it to my son. I have to appreciate who I am right now in this life as I stand right here so that my son appreciates who he can grow into being, who he can become, right? Far beyond me, right? I have a radio station in Chester, right? cmpradio.net. We're always live. We're always talking about these issues every day, right? And if we don't talk about things, if we don't give information to our children, you know, we will continue to lose our children. So I just think this is a very extraordinarily giving program where we're having fathers give information, and we're giving information to people that might not necessarily understand what they're going through. So I don't get it all the time, right? And Dr. Mueed, we always go through it, and I say, you know, I'm not capable of understanding everything that you say, but if you sit down with me long enough, man, I'll get it. I'll absolutely get it. And I want to thank y'all for giving me a couple seconds, right? A couple minutes of your life that you're definitely not going to get back, but I hope you gain something from this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jean-Pierre. Thank you for sharing that. There were so many wonderful things that you said. Don't even have time to go over, but I tell you what came out was that 18, right? The 18 months that you were locked up and your children, your son not having you, right? Because you weren't able to be there. And also your father at 18 years of age coming to the United States, that just kind of popped out. So we want to pay attention to the numbers and how it works out. So I will say also that you being transparent, I got from it, this what you shared about your life and about the different stages that you went through was so important. And I think that's going to be our saving grace, being transparent and saying what's so, you know, exactly, no blame, no shame. Yes, it could be some regret, but we have to repair. But we can't, there's an African saying that you have to reveal before you can heal. And I think that's what's going on now. People are starting to say really what's going on. So what's going on with us at the foundation is a few possible things we may have to adjust. The intention was to have breakout rooms in another 3 minutes, and we're not sure if that's going to automatically take people to those rooms or not. But I want to change that so we can have a little question and answer, a conversation, a community conversation. We still might have the breakout rooms. Uh, One person was ill and wasn't able to do it. We had a substitute person coming in for that person. So we're in the middle of trying to just work out exactly what's going to happen. But I think us being honest and being transparent, we can actually get through things rather than trying to give an appearance of one thing when it's not. So let's see if it's been set up to automatically send us to breakout rooms. If that does happen, I want you to not accept it, or if it does it automatically, there's a places that you can click to come back into the main room, because I want us to have a few moments at least of having a question and answer and just a conversation with Jean-Pierre after that wonderful sharing that he did, you know, just now, a moment ago. So until we have 2 minutes is the countdown to see what's going to happen. Remember when Y2 came along and it was saying that all the computers was going to crash and everything? I feel we like a Y2 moment right now in terms of, let's see what's going to happen in terms of what was set up. So anyone who would like to have like a comment or a question to Jean-Pierre in terms of what he just shared with us, which was truly heartfelt, it was soul felt.
I have a question. When you said you went to therapy, at what age was that?
Was 36 years old.
Okay. So what I found interesting was you said you went to therapy at 36 and she asked you, what did you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up, right? Which is, you know, not something we think to normally ask a 36-year-old, right? It's something
Right.
we normally ask children. But when you recognize that an adult has been stuck, right, in one area of their life, and they haven't been able to develop that perception of, who they are, who they want it to be. It's very interesting to take a step back and look at that. So.
When I was 16, I know where I was. And once I learned how to make money doing it, that was all that mattered, right? It was a lot of money out there. And I knew how to hustle. I knew how to make it, and it wasn't because I was in my community doing it. I was outside of my community doing it, right? So it was great, right? I never thought that I had to do anything else but make money, and then when I went to jail, I said, this isn't going to work, right? I can't keep leaving my kids. The first time I ever went to jail, I didn't have any kids. That was in 2000, right? And I did 9 months, and they gave me school release. They let me go to school, but I messed that up because I started selling cigarettes, right? It was always about making money for me. And once I sat down with my therapist, I told him everything. Like, I'm an open book, right? The things that I have done, if I don't speak on them, someone else will do them. Someone else will do that, right? So if I speak on it, hopefully they're like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that, right? So if I don't speak on it, you'll do it. If I do speak on it, you'll know. And then when you see it, you'll back up from it. So yeah, he said I was 16, right? Leroy Ambrose was my therapist, right? I met with him for weeks. I still talk to him. I still consult with him for different situations. I got a lot of young men out here in the street, and they want to fight. They want to go back and forth. I've had guns pulled out on me while I'm talking to young men, right? And I got to look them in their face and tell them, listen, what I know you don't want to hurt me, and I'll back up. But here, take my card. Just take my card. Just take it, and I'll back up. I'm sorry. I apologize, and I'll back up like that. So many people have told me, man, why approach him with aggression? Because he's coming at me with aggression, bro. Like, I'm giving peace all the time. Peace, bro. I love you. My uncle used to say it to me constantly. Peace, Rasta. I love you, man. Like, he thought he was Jamaican, right? He had the accent, everything. He was a lawyer. And he told me every day, man, when you get out here in these streets, you're gonna have to move differently than how you moving right now, right? Because you're soft. It's not good for you to be out here in these streets, but I made it work. Never been robbed, never been hurt, never been punched, none of that stuff. So for me, in the drug game, for me, it just made sense. So I had to change my life, right? I had to take my life in my own hands and stop giving it to other people. And I had to start the radio station, right? Because I just wanted to talk. I just want to tell everybody what I have gone through, and hopefully they understand and they don't make the same mistakes that I had.
I would like to talk about just a little bit. What gave you the idea to start the radio station? First of all, I want to commend you, brother, for your transparency.
Yeah,
this is straight up like necessary, and what you are doing is opening layers upon layers of other pages for other individuals who, just like you, got youngins out here in the street and maybe have been through some of those things yourself. Your story definitely resonates with me. Thank you, Dr. Onaje, for the invitation. I certainly do appreciate having a chance to drop in. Look, man, but the radio station, the podcast piece, is an excellent vehicle for young folks to express themselves. How do you get them hooked?
So like I said, when I talked to my therapist, he asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I didn't know, so I called my aunt, and I love my aunt, and she has always been, she's like my second mother, and she always motivating me and trying to push me in the right direction, but I ain't never want to move. Like I said, I went to college, and I played basketball, and I wanted to be a physical therapist. I got hit by a car when I was younger, and I'm like, oh, the physical therapist helped me with my leg, so I'm gonna be a physical therapist, right? And I went there, and my basketball coach told me, he called me in the office, he's like, you can't do biology and basketball. So you got to pick a B and stay with a B and dribble a B. I said, all right. I went and dropped that, and then I sat in my room, and I was like, what else I'm going to do? I was just looking. I said, communications. All right, cool, I could do that. I went, pick up communications. Public speaking had me at first, like I was nervous, right? But I got involved with it, and I was always a good student, right? My dad made sure I understood how to read. Reading is fundamental. He pushed that down my throat. You feel me? You got to understand what you're reading. If you don't understand what you're reading, you're not able to break it down. You can't comprehend anything, right? So as far as vocabulary and reading, that was number one on my page. But when I went to my therapist and I told him, he was like, all right. So I said, I can't go back to college. I have 6 children. I can't go back to college. I don't know what to do. And he was like, man, listen, look it up on YouTube, figure it out. Come back next week. I need a whole plan on what you're going to do. So I went home, got on YouTube. Literally, man, I bought a book and I filled that book up with so much stuff off of YouTube and a radio station, an internet radio station, and a low power antenna and a tri-county antenna. And I got all this stuff. And this is 5 years ago, 6 years ago almost. And it's like, wow, man, like just from that talk. And then another young lady, she ended up, we have a daughter together. She told me I could dream. And that was another thing that I had not heard, right? No one ever told me that I didn't have to hustle. No one ever said.
You ever think about anything else?
No. For the last 6 years, the radio station and how to affect this community in a positive way, right? How to affect the gun violence in a positive way, right? How to come at it from the other side, right? They always talk about you can flank your opponent, right? Mm-hmm. And when I think about flanking, it's like, well, what am I offering them? If I could take a gun out of a child's hand, right? I have to give him something of substance. I can't put him in jail because when he comes back out, he's going to pick up the gun again, right? I have to give him something that he can walk away with and use to better his life, right? And once he does that, his friends look like, well, how he do that? Well, can you help me out, right? And that's what's happening, right? I got a couple brothers, and they in the HVAC situation, and their homies asking them, yo, what's up, man? I'm chilling, bro. I'm not even out there. I don't want no smoke. I don't want none of it. And now their homies are calling, what's up, man? Can you get me in? They, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Let's go. Let me help you like I was helped. Let me let you know, right, that you are more important to me alive, to me. And you don't know me, but you're more important to me alive than you are dead. That your life is valuable, more valuable than anything that nobody could give me any amount of money to surpass or take your life. That's where I'm at.
My brother. Well said. Much appreciated. Thank you.
No doubt.
Is there anyone else that have a question or comment for Jean-Pierre?
This is Arnold.
Go ahead, Arnold.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, ma'am. I'll let you go.
No, I was just going to say really quick to Jean-Pierre, thank you so much. I've listened to the radio station a couple of times before, and one of the most important things I've heard you say or do within that arena was talk to people about how you participated in therapy and how you thought it was very, very important for a lot of our young men to really get connected to a therapist. And so I appreciate that.
Push therapy like I was out there pushing whatever I was pushing, right? I tried to let everybody know, man, just try it, just taste it. You feel me? Just go for a couple times, right? And figure it out. And if it's not the best thing you've ever done in your life, come back and tell me why it's not. Then let's find somebody that can get you what you need. You know what I mean? Because we all need to talk, right? Everybody, you need to have a place where you can say what you want to say. I can say what I need to say anywhere. I don't care how people look at me or view me. Oh, he's a drug dealer, or he did this, or he was out here, or he got 7 kids, he got 4 baby moms. I don't care how you feel about me. Literally, I had to post that yesterday because my man called me and said, yo, man, people out here talking. I said, okay, and what am I supposed to do about them talking about me? That means they want to come talk to me. They know where I am, 601 Upland Avenue. You feel me? Suite 222. Come talk to me. We can have a conversation. I'm not running or ducking, no smoke. I'm not. So we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I want to.
So this is AJ Arnold. I just wanted to say thank you once again for your transparency, and I'm enjoying your story. I'm enjoying your journey as you express to us your transition, and I'm enjoying the impact that you have made on the people around you. And I'm just elated to hear you say that the young men are realizing that they're tangible things that they can obtain outside of this misnomer in their head about the material life through the streets. So we are going to all have to continue to work together, not just today in this summit for the end of the week, but we got to stay in constant contact. And I'm appreciative of knowing that I knew men were out there like us, and that felt like us, and that shared. We have different experiences, But the one common theme is we're fathers, we are protectors, we're providers, and we realize we need to step up. So I'm here to support you and your efforts, your radio show, whatever it is, because my organization, my parenting, none of that matters if yours doesn't matter. We have to work in unison. And I just wanted to say that to you. And keep doing what you're doing. Please put your information in the chat so I can tune in.
Absolutely, I will. Thank you very much. And that's important, right? And all of us men, right? And like Dr. Najee said earlier, just because you make a child doesn't make you a father, right? But if you take time to be in your child's life, right, that's where fatherhood begins, right? But when you're in your child's life, you also have to take on their friends and the people that they're next to. You got to cut your neighbor's grass, bro. I say it all the time. If I'm out there cutting my grass and my neighbor's grass is high, and I'm like, I ain't worried about that. You know who's lurking in those grass? It could be anything. It could be snakes. It could be somebody trying to steal your kid. You are affected by what is around you. So if you do not cut your neighbor's grass, if you're out there with your lawnmower and you don't go slam across to the other side, cutting everybody's grass, you don't know what's growing in that grass. So, I appreciate the words, brother. I'm not going to stop, right? And I'll definitely put everything in the chat for you. Thank you.
I want to just point out a few things. One is that I hope everyone is paying attention that anytime that Jean-Pierre needed something, he had to reach out to someone, right? He spoke to his aunt that gave him insight and said, no, growing up, he was always at this thing, this microphone, this broom or whatever it was, right? She was watching him, right? So we're talking about the village, the importance of the village. Then he was able to go and speak to a therapist, right? We are each other's medicine. We are each other's medicine. That's how we heal ourselves. All the trauma studies are saying what's the best way to get over trauma is good relationships, people who love you, people who respect you, people who embrace you. And you also saw the transition of the value system that he went through, first at home with his father, being a good student, being able to study, vocabulary, so forth and so on. Then he went out into the street, adopted another value system, thought that money was, everything, got my mind on my money, my money on my mind. So he gave that up, right? And came into, so his life was really determined by the value systems in which he was living by. And you can see the value systems that he's living now, which was the original one that he had before. And this is the work we do at Chester. We returning Chester back to who Chester is and what Chester was, right? What we're now is going through an aberration, right? Because of the loss of jobs, because of the loss of economy, all of that has created this circumstances. We're going to return Chester back to itself with the original values, where it's family, where it's friends, where it's fun. Lastly, I'll say that it's going back to the fundamental things, going back to the things which make us be able to dream, right? So thank you so much, Jean-Pierre, for who you are, the life that you're living, the life that you've decided, that which you had shared with us tonight and continue to share with you. And his radio station is in the chat. I want everyone to certainly pick that up from the chat and be able to visit his radio station and support it. That's how we make things work, by supporting it. So we're going to move forward with our breakout rooms. And for those of you who might have come on later, one of our intended presenters was in a very minor car accident. He's okay. He's all right. But of course, when you're in a minor accident, things are shaking up. You got to wait and see really what's going on in terms of your body. Something can happen to you one minute, you're all right, but adrenaline is happening. And then an hour, 2 or 3 a day later, so things starts to happen, right? So we don't know, but right now he says it's all right. So with that, we may just have 3 breakout rooms instead of 2. I had said earlier that one of our intended facilitators had some challenges where he's not able to do it, but Mr. Art Terry has come all the way from Pittsburgh. He has come all the way from Pittsburgh to step into that spot. So Mr. Terry will be, Mr. Terry will be assuming a discussion, leading the discussion on the fatherhood blueprint. We have Chanel. Okay, let me get Chanel's last name. Chanel, where are you? Chanel. Nicole. Gooden is going to do a breakout group on play, the importance of play. And well, what is play? How do we master play, right? You think of play, I'm just playing, right? But no, it's a whole lot to that. And she's going to share some of her secrets with us. And then we also have the co-chair of the Fatherhood Engagement Committee, Mr. Andrew Carter, who's going to do a short appetizer in what is called Dad's Cafe. Some of you know something, you probably know about Parents Cafe, which is was created by Be Strong Parents, right? But they also have different subjects. And one of the subjects they have, in addition to Parents Cafe, in fact, is Dad's Cafe. And it's our intention to create a Dad's Cafe in terms of regular basis in July. But for tonight, Andrew is going to actually give you a taste of what it is. What is a Dad's Cafe? And you get a chance to experience that. So if there aren't any other questions or comments, I'm going to ask out for some. Yes, Jean-Pierre.
I was just asking which room, because room 1, 2, and 3. How does it
Okay,
go?
so I'm looking at the chat. Room 1 is going to be Chanel.
Andrew,
Room 2 is going to be Andrew,
girls.
and room 3 is going to be Art Terry.
All right. Awesome.
So one is play, 2 is Dad's Cafe, and 3 is Father's Blueprint. And then we'll be there we're going to go ahead and give them an hour as we intended, because we did put some a little bit of room at the end, so we can cut back that half hour that we was planning to do question and answer at the end, and give our workshop people that hour for them to really share with us what they have. And then we all will come back at the end of those workouts. So it's now 6:46, and we should be back together at 7:46. So what should happen is, okay, I've just told that it was set for 30 minutes. You didn't tell me. Okay, so it's a 30-minute breakout room. So, so what should appear right now is choices, or you might have to go down to, okay, before I know you used to have to go to more, and you would choose the breakout room. But the technology is saying, no, not so fast. We're gonna have to figure out something here, folks.
Mia, are you there? Are you putting the options up for breakout rooms, or?
On my end, room 1, 2, and 3 are open. People just have to join.
So we can't see the rooms I can't see the rooms on our end to join.
I think it would be at the bottom of your screen. Like, for example, I'm on my laptop, and next to the record button, I have breakout rooms as an option.
I don't see it on
There we
mine.
go. All right, I see it at the bottom, breakout rooms.
Okay, so for some reason now it's just appearing for those of you who are like me, little technically
If
challenged.
you look at the bottom, Onaje, you'll see like the 4 boxes next to the reactions button.
Yeah, I had
Oh, yeah.
pushed it before and it didn't come up. So it's just coming up now, but I see what you're saying. Under more, because I have chat, I have record to this computer, and then I have join breakout room. So everyone, if you go to more, with those dots and see a breakout room, you have a chance to choose between 1, 2, and 3. 1 is for play, 2 is for Dad's Cafe, and 3 is, do I have it right? And 3 is for, yes, and 3 is for Dad's Blueprint.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Hello? I'm trying to figure out what room I'm in. Does
Um,
anybody?
You are, which room did you want to go in?
Oh, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I mean, am I being picked? Like, can the host? You're the host, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you could put me in any one, Daddy Cafe Play. It don't matter.
Okay.
I just, matter of fact, put me in Dad's Cafe, the Daddy
Okay.
Cafe. Thank you.
Gotcha. There you go. Did anyone else need help moving to a room? Karen, did you need help?
This is Karen. I'm not going to be able to participate, but I will be back
Okay.
in a little bit. Sorry,
Okay.
but thank you.
You're welcome. Ella, you needed help?
Yes, I'm on my cell phone. I try to get on my computer so I can get in because I don't see on my cell phone how I can get in a room.
Okay. Which room did you want to go in?
And that's I forgot the names of the rooms.
Play, Daddy's Cafe, and then Blueprint.
Play. What is play about?
I am not able to answer that question.
Okay, well, put me into the I guess put me in play, I guess.
Okay, there you go. Joel, did you want to be in a specific room? Joel, are you there? Hi, Ronald. We are actually in breakout rooms right now. The first breakout room is about play. The second is about the parent cafes, and then the third is a father blueprint. Is there any specific room you would like to be in?
Say it again.
The first room is about play with Chanel. The second room is about the parent cafe, the daddy parent cafe, with John Pierre. And then the third one is with Art Terry about the fatherhood blueprint.
Let's go with the blueprint.
Okay, I'm gonna put you in there now. Give me 1 second. Hey, Keisha, did you need help going back in? Hi, Joanne. I see you're connecting to audio, so I'm not sure if you can hear me. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Mia. How are you? Are you're in breakout rooms now?
Yes, there are 3 options. The first room is about play. The second room is about the father parent cafes. And then the third is a daddy blueprint.
Okay. I told Onaje I had a conflict.
Okay.
Do you think I should join in? I know I'm coming in late.
You can, there's a little less than 30 minutes left.
Okay. I I hate to be like a fly on the wall, you know, since I
You're
haven't.
okay. It's up to you. It's up to you. I did have
I-
somebody just come in like 5 minutes before you did, so,
All right, you said the first is about play.
yes.
All right, how about if you send me to that one?
Okay, here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Mr. G, how are you? Mr. G? If you can hear me, we are currently in breakout rooms until 7:40.
He said 5 more minutes, everybody will be back, guys. So let's take 5 minute break.
Mia,
Yes.
They're
Hey.
doing a presentation in room 1 if you're interested.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Mia, I'm gonna join from my phone. I don't know who's the person, but I just wanted to let somebody know so I could get back in.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna text you. Sorry.
Okay. Did anybody else need help getting back into a room?
Hold on, I'm gonna-
To do. So in closing, I plead for all of you that are listening to allow play to be the foundation of the relationship between you and your child. Because at the end of the day, the Jordans, the game systems, all that's fine. But they'll outgrow it. They'll outgrow all of that. But when they're an adult, they'll remember when you made up that fishing rod and sat at the edge of the creek trying to fish. They'll recall those memories, and those will last with them for their entire lifetime. Thank you, everyone. I am so sorry about the sound issues. I know we have a few minutes left. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. I am more than happy to answer them.
Everyone is coming back slowly. And I don't know about you, but I had a good workshop in the play workshop. So certainly we made some adjustments. And I want to thank all the facilitators who gave of themselves, their time, their talents, resources to share that with those who came into your room. So I'd like to start by, as we move towards closure, to start with the facilitators in terms of how they felt the workshop went. I see I see Andrew here, I see Chanel here, and on the screen, that's all I see. So Andrew, I'll start with you. How did the dad's cafe go?
I can't speak for anybody in the session, only myself, but I heard a lot of great stories. A lot of people shared. We kind of ran out of time at the end, but just getting that initial cafe started and feeling those stories, those emotions coming out of the stories, it really moved me tonight. So I appreciate everybody in the group that participated, and hopefully you'll come back when Dr. Mahid and I start our fatherhood cafes. You'll come back and join in our sessions.
Fabulous, fabulous. Can someone from the workshop give us your impression of that experience?
Yeah, this is AJ. It was a very good experience. I just was telling my daughter, I don't know if she heard me, but I said I'm glad that I participated in this. It really helped me out a lot.
Fabulous, fabulous. Anyone else like to share about the dad's workshop, dad's cafe? Okay.
I
So,
just real,
yes, go ahead.
real quick, well, Najee, by me being the only woman that was in there, and Andrew handled it really well. The dads really need a corner to talk. They can get some things off their chest that they need to. It was good. It was really good.
And you know what, Erica, I don't think anybody knew that you were the only woman in there. I think we all dropped our guards down and we spoke from our heart, and it just flowed.
Yes, and I was surprised that they did. So I was like, wow, okay, but it was good. They need a corner. They definitely need this parents cafe for dads for sure.
I felt that too. It was good to have that social connection within the group.
Yes.
So, Andrew, you said that it's something about Dad's Cafe. Did you join it? What were you referring to?
Say that again.
You had mentioned you was inviting people to come back to a Dad's Cafe. Are you planning to do something in the future?
Yeah, so hopefully we can get Dad's Cafe up and running, and then hopefully we can see some of the participants there that, once we get the ball rolling on that.
And how would that work?
Still working out the details, but we would hopefully let people know once we get the cafe running. We have space, whether it could be in person or virtual,
Okay, very good, excellent. Something to look forward to. Thank you so much. I'd like to now, Chanel. Thank you so very much. And I was in her workshop, and I won't maybe prejudiced because it's so good, so I might not speak. But Chanel, how did the workshop go?
Well, I'm kind of trapped in what looks like to be a storm out here. So my sound kept going out. When I initially logged in, I had to log out because I was having sound issues. And several times throughout my presentation, there was some sound issues, but I'm hoping that despite that, the information that I was trying to get across really sunk in, because even if you're not a parent, you probably act as a surrogate parent to somebody's child. So I'm hoping that some of the information that I shared could be used, and maybe some of the adults can see play in a different light.
Okay, all right, thank you. And anyone like to share who was in that workshop, what your experience was?
This is Akeisha. I'll share really quick. One of the things that stuck out to me was when Chanel said that play is a child's love language. And I think we've heard a lot recently about love languages, particularly between couples, but you don't hear a lot about, involving children. And so I like to hear that play is their love language, but not only that, but that's the way to build trust, right? And so thinking about play in a way where it's not just fun and games, but it's really building a relationship with your children.
Okay. And anyone else like to share from that workshop?
Hi, Onaje. It's Joanne.
Joanne, you made
Hey,
it.
sorry I'm late. I was doing a few things at one time, but I dropped into the natural play workshop and I thought it was excellent. And just the idea that you can use whatever's in front of you, whether you're inside or outside, and that kids, they're happy to play with whatever's in front of them, and that you don't need expensive toys or devices. That was awesome. It truly was awesome. And Chanel, just great job. I think you could offer like weekly tips on natural play, and I think it would be incredible. So kudos to you and Onaje for making sure that we had that workshop. It teaches us that we can work with whatever we have, right? And it doesn't matter how much money you have or where you are, that you really can have fun with your kids, build trust, build the relationship, and just have fun.
Wow. So Chanel, when they tell you to like buy a silver dollar and like keep it for like 50 years, then it appreciates and value. Well, guess what? You just got one. She doesn't give out awesomes too often. Let me tell you, she does not give out awesomes too often, and that is going to appreciate over time. So you have done exceedingly well to get an awesome from Joanne. That's for sure. Thank you so much, Joanne, for those really beautiful comments. I don't know if Mr. Terry is here. I don't see him in the lineup. Is he still on the call? For those of you who might not remember, two of our persons who were supposed to come had some difficulties, and Mr. Terry I had asked him to fill in, and he did, but I don't know if he actually facilitated a workshop. Now I didn't go to that workshop. Nor
He did.
He did.
Facilitate.
He did.
I don't see him here anymore, but we had a good like 45-minute discussion. So
Okay. So, Amy, if you don't mind, can you please share with us what happened, or what was your experience of that workshop?
sure, he really wanted to know how we engage fathers. So we each took an opportunity to share how we're engaging fathers. And I think Eric and I had similar experiences between Healthy Start and NFP, just saying how much you've opened that doorway for us and made us realize how much more we should be doing to engage fathers, and how, we can always count on you to remind us at every turn that we should be engaging fathers, and how helpful that's been. But one of the biggest takeaways I think I got from Mr. Terry was being intentional about engaging dads. Even if it seems like dad's not involved, he said, dad is involved. He might not be there when you're there for your home visits, or mom might not be talking about him, but he is there. And so even if we're just leaving information for dad, making sure that we're, again, being intentional, bringing that information and sharing it with mom so that she'll share it with dad, is like a doorway to hopefully engage dad in the future. So it was really good.
Thank you. Anyone else from that workshop would like to share?
It's Erica. He also said that maybe start thinking about how we would engage fathers that like people that are co-parenting. So somehow within our conversations, find a way to get more information from mom and maybe come up with a way to communicate with dad that she's co-parenting with.
Yeah, that's a very big subject matter in terms of so many parents, right, are not cohabitating, and we have to facilitate those conversations and provide the support for those families who have that arrangement. Many of the work we do in fatherhood, in fact, is looking at that very closely. So we can't just go by sometimes the usual assumptions that the parents are cohabitating. We have to look at the realities, distance, time, and create, visitations. So that becomes a very important part of including the fathers with that that needed point of view. Thank you so much. Aaron, are you stopped at a light? I don't want you to talk if you're driving. I just can't invite that. But if you happen to be stopped, or if you pull to the side, I would invite you. But that only because of that.
I'll stop.
Okay. Anything you want to say, young man?
I just appreciate being here, taking the time out to be here, listening to people. Everybody's being open and transparent and everything like that, and also having an opportunity to talk. So I look forward to future things that you all have going on, and looking forward to tap in.
Wonderful. So glad to hear that. Karen came all the way from Pittsburgh to support us and also to share with us. Karen, are you able to speak about, what is it called, tax credits or investments for your children?
I want to yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. First of all, to be a part of this is just, I was a social worker for 20 years. I never talked about that before, but when I did that, I really felt a calling for that job. And I felt a calling to reach out to others and try to help to make their lives a little bit better. So when I hear someone talk about how that has helped make a difference in their lives, it really means a lot. And then to hear Aaron say, that he's appreciated this time to be able to spend here too today. Really, thank you so much for putting these things together and for everything everybody is doing so much. So I'll take 2 seconds and tell you about what I do now instead of social work. I work for the Treasury. And for the Treasury, we talk about saving for education. And I know JP talked about having a college education, but he had to pick one of the B's. And I really believe that even having that college education is a foundation anyway. There was a foundation there that came back for him at some point, maybe not, but we're all about helping people understand the power of saving, the power of investing. And we talk about how we have $100 now for every baby that's born in Pennsylvania to be able to start some kind of little fund to put that little bit of money away if possible. And I know these are even rougher times now with a possible recession coming on. But that is what I do. And I have a passion about doing it because I feel as though education is a power. It's a power that we give if we can use it for our best, to do our best. So I talk about that, and the 529 plans are tax advantage ways to do that. It means more money back in people's pockets. So if anybody ever wants to reach out to me and have me talk to their groups about the Pennsylvania 529 or the Keystone Scholars Program, which is $100 for every baby born, or PA ABLE, which is for people who have disabilities to be able to save and keep money beyond $2,000 in their SSI or SSDI, be able to save up to $100,000 or more. I'm very happy to do that. Please reach out to me. And thank you again for everything that you do.
Karen, thank you so much for having interest in the work that we're doing here in Delaware County. And I put your name and phone numbers in the chat for those of you who would want to reach out to her. Information is located in the chat. Thank you so much. So we're about to close, people, but I want to say anyone who has any other comments or observations you'd like to share, please do that. We'll also like to tell you that we have the Fatherhood Engagement Committee that meets the second Wednesday of every month. Mr. Andrew Carter is the co-chair, and he brings so much to that position in his work, even frontline worker by doing a workshop for us. So you can see that he's really a serious hands-on guy, right? So we meet the second Wednesday of every month. And we certainly would like to invite you to come and be a part of that, because here in Delaware County, we're saying that we have to create the fatherhood continuum of care. How can we provide all the services that the fathers need in order to fully participate in their role as a father? And sometimes it means they don't have a job, right? That's not a reason to exclude them. We have to bring back the value of father's involvement. And all of you have made a big contribution in that way by participating in the summit tonight. So let me open up the floor. If any other concluding comments or observations anyone would like to make at this time.
Yeah, this is AJ. There was something that you touched on at the Fatherhood Resource Fair that really stuck with me, and that was about a piece of legislation that is attempting to be put through, I believe, the Congress and the Senate, where fathers are going to be guaranteed tangible resources. I'm not going to take everybody's time up to break it down, but that's what my initiative is. My initiative is to get us in a position where we are receiving tangible resources. I'm tired of seeing people working on the side of the highway and we're not getting those jobs, that gainful employment to change lives. We're not getting the opportunities to receive loans, to be able to do business and participate in entrepreneurship. So that's my initiative, to work with legislators in an effort to be sure that the fathers get the necessary resources. So with that, we're going to be working, and I'll be seeing you in those groups.
Oh, no, I thank you so very much for your work and for bringing that to our attention. I would like to bring everyone's attention to the chat. There is a hyperlink for a program titled Our Village, A Partner's View of Maternal Health. That's going to happen tomorrow between, 2 and 3:30. But I would like everyone to not only attend, but let others know that it's taking place. So in the chat, you would see a hyperlink to the registration for that event. And this is a part of something new that we're trying at the foundation, is a whole week of activities. Sunday, we had an early morning fatherhood healing circle that was provided by an organization out of New York City, in fact. Monday, we had Dads and Kids Play Day. Tuesday, we had a really robust conversation, really needed, in terms of fatherhood, community, and gun safety. And we're going to, in fact, we're so well attended and well participated in that people want to have a part 2. And then we're going to bring that to your attention. And of course, today we're having the Fatherhood Summit. Tomorrow, I just mentioned Our Village. This is going to happen tomorrow. And that's being sponsored by the Delaware County Breastfeeding Coalition in conjunction with the foundation. So you're going to really enjoy that as well. And then Friday, we want to invite you back for what we're calling Fatherhood Providers Roundtable, where we can say, okay, that it's good that we had the Institute, the summit, but now what are we going to do? What are we going to do next week? What are we going to do next month? Right? How do we keep expanding the resources? How do we keep on inviting and expanding the network? And through time and effort and quality, we can start to change these numbers in terms of infant mortality and maternal mortality in Delaware County. And we're going to do that by engaging fathers and having them to become an integral part of every part of the process. We are making these changes. So it's not futuristic. We're making these changes already because you're here It only can be done through you. It only can be done through the community. So I'm going to ask Akeisha or Joanne, my supervisor and the vice president of our foundation, if any closing remarks they would want to make at this time.
I don't have any remarks. I will let Joanne close us out. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I'd like to thank the organizing committee. I don't always have a chance to fully participate in these events, but I am so thankful for you, Onaje, and your committee and the work that you're doing, because fathers and dads are so important to our families and our community. I encourage everyone to keep your eyes open for all of the work of our fatherhood program. And I wish everyone a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you so very much. Everyone have a wonderful night, and I look forward to seeing you at tomorrow, and look forward to seeing you Friday, and look forward to seeing you at the Fatherhood Engagement Committee on the second Wednesday of each month. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
evening, everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.